Carbros USA. Yeah!
This is Car Bros Podcast, episode 21. 21.
First one of 2019.
The big 2-1.
Hope you had a good new year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Welcome back, car fans around the globe. But according to the stats...
Not really.
Yeah, it is mostly males aged 24 to 44 in the United States.
What is it, like 100%?
Well, I don't know. No, there's a female patron, I think.
Shout out to.
Yeah. Which, like, she signed up, and part of me wanted to be like, "Are you really a girl?"
Yeah.
Christina, I think. I don't know. Hey, Christina. Yeah. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little break from us.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope you really enjoyed.
I know we did.
Not listening to us.
We had about 2 weeks off. Yeah. But we are back now. Excited to be back.
Sorry for not making the M5 New Year's Eve. Or
Yeah.
Oh, was that
Day.
was that on? Was that
Said
the
January
target?
1st.
I think
for
he
like-
said locked in, but yeah.
Locked in.
we said January
Locked
1st
in.
for I think
M5.
final race also, didn't we?
I think a long time ago, but then that got pushed.
Final Race 2 and the M5 video are coming along.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
worked.
We have started.
Diligently, made great progress, and those will probably launch at the same time. I'm thinking.
Let's say they'll launch in January.
I think that's.
I don't know if we want to
Is
say
that
I don't know.
is that a
Maybe.
big?
We still have another like weekend's worth of filming to do on Final Race.
Yes.
And then there's quite a bit of editing to do. The editing is pretty demanding, which might get scaled back. I don't know. We'll see. M5 video is coming along. That one is just waiting on my ability to like get other people to drive the car, like the shots or whatever. But it's coming along. Yeah, so I'm thinking launch them both at the same time because they're pretty different from each other. So I
Yeah.
think it'd be cool to like
come back with a bang.
show our
Blow it up.
range or whatever. Yeah. So I just wanted to make a quick note that I saw the other day a GMC Typhoon. Is that what it is?
Typhoon is the SUV. Cyclone is
Cyclone's
the
a truck.
pickup. Yeah.
What? Who makes the Cyclone?
They're both GMC.
Oh, GMC. I saw a GMC Typhoon, and it occurred to me that those things are badass.
Yeah.
Those things are sweet.
Yep.
I think they're sweet, and you don't see them that often.
No. I don't think you ever saw them that often.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, they're rare to begin with. Kind of an under the radar thing, but they're pretty damn cool. And it made me think that I like those more than a Grand National. I think, in my opinion, Grand National is like late '80s Buick.
Yeah.
Same motor, right? 3.8 turbo.
No, I think the GMC was like a 4.3.
Oh, really?
I do believe.
Somebody.
I'm not a million% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
We should have done
I'm pretty sure it's bigger than.
Went into this cold.
because those were just the small block, like without two cylinders. I think.
Oh, really? The 4.3
4.3. Yeah.
Okay, well, either way, those are sweet vehicles. And I saw one the other day, and it wasn't that nice. It was just like a whatever one.
Yeah.
But I gave the guy this like huge thumbs up, and he was kind of, I think it caught him off guard.
Oh, is it? What were you driving? The
The
400.
400. But
He knew. He knew. He saw that.
but yeah, I haven't thought about or seen one of those in a while. But it's always like kind of a nice treat.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I have no association with like any kind of owner group with those.
There's no like stereotype.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just a cool car. Just a cool car out in the wild.
I remember like one of the first weekends I had the Jeep. I was like driving from Sacramento or to Sacramento or something. Yeah, on the freeway or on the highway was another Typhoon right next to me. We were like both checking each other out because we both knew.
Yeah.
like different
Something's up.
same type of car, just different generations.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's a 4.3, 280 horsepower.
Sweet.
Putting it down.
Yeah.
All-wheel drive.
Sweet. Yeah, I like those things. 2-door SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Hop in the back.
That's a good look.
Let me fold the
Hold
seat so you
on.
can like
Yeah.
climb back in there.
Yeah. So I guess it's a little spoiler alert, but we borrowed for Final Race 2 a Tesla Model 3 Performance. So if you're not like hip to Tesla terminology, it's the fastest Model 3 they make right now.
Yes.
But not the fastest Tesla by any means. The Model S and the Model X, you can get much faster versions than the fastest Model 3 you can get. But still a very fast car.
Yeah.
I think it's like 450 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque.
But it's like instant torque, though.
Yeah, and it's electric motor, which
Yep.
is different. But it's like, it feels about like a small block.
Yeah,
V8.
power-wise, yeah, power and
Power-wise, it's just
torque-wise.
silent. In about a 3,900-pound car, somewhere around there. And so having it for a week is neat because you get some actual like ownership kind of
Right.
style feel to it. But it was also the first time either of you had driven any Tesla, right?
Yes.
And actually, it's the first Tesla I've ever driven to, but I'd driven it before. And so I don't know. I figured we could like talk about
Riff
that
on
a
it.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps I will go last because I am.
Yeah, a little biased.
I like the company a lot, even though I hadn't driven one before.
now you like it even
Before
more.
these, now I'm like even more into it. But I don't know. What'd you think, Garrett?
Well, I have been driving electric cars for like 5 years.
Right. You've owned two.
Yeah, just as like commuter. I mean, around town, whatever cars.
Yeah, you
and
have
it.
Fiat 500
Yeah.
E and
Yeah, now we have an e-Golf.
And your parents also have the Clarity.
Right, yeah, my
electric,
parents.
yeah.
There's actually quite a few electric cars around here.
Yeah.
It's a good place to own it because most people don't drive
Yeah.
that far every day. It's not that big of a town.
Yeah.
But to me, I would say the biggest thing is it wasn't like a revelation driving it. It just felt like a fast, good electric car.
Yeah.
And it's like where a Fiat or an e-Golf feels like an economy version of an electric car. So so essentially it was like the M3 of electric cars is what I would say.
Yeah.
But after driving that, I'd be really interested to drive whatever the cheap one.
The $35,000.
Yeah, to see like that feels like because that's like half the what you said it's like 75.
that one as it sits was 70.
Our test vehicle,
70 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like totally pimped out.
Yeah, so literally, I'd be interested to see what one that literally is half the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how it would compare.
I am curious. They do not offer that model yet.
Yeah.
The cheapest one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see what is different. Would you rather have that car than an M3?
I think it would. No, I don't think so.
You'd rather have an M3, a new one.
Probably or a whatever RS. Just a equivalent high performance gas car.
$70,000 gas powered car.
I think right now I would. To me, it feels like something that like just would complement like a bunch of other cooler cars.
Yeah.
that you would have. I don't know.
Yeah. The thing we were talking about with that car is like there's not a huge urge to go out and drive it.
Right. At least once you've experienced it once or
Yeah.
twice.
I love driving it, and every time I do have to go somewhere, it's a joy. But it's not the kind of car that you skip your house
Right. Or you're like
to-
constantly thinking of
to
I need
go
to go
around
somewhere.
the block again or something like that. And I'm not sure what that is. I think a lot of that has to do with
Sound.
the motor. Yeah. The
Yeah.
sound.
With the lack of sound.
Yeah. What do you think?
I
You went into it pretty negative.
went in, not negative, but just like me and Garrett kind of had the same point of view about them, before we drove them, is like they're like awesome technology. They're neat cars.
Yeah.
But like they're just soulless and like they just didn't have any personality. And I guess that my view kind of changed on that. Like it's more exciting than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to be fast, but I wasn't expecting just like that instant sensation. Like it just reminded me of like, when we drove the 458 Ferrari, it's like, that's fast, but you don't, until you like literally punch it and it throws you back in your seat. You're just like, holy crap, this is crazy. But, but then, other parts of it was exactly as I expected. Like the interior is just very bland and dull. Like it's just, it's completely
Minimalistic.
open and minimalistic. Yeah. With just a giant, tablet touchscreen to do everything in the car.
Right.
The seats are just kind of, they're comfortable, but they're just also generic seats. Like they're not anything special. Like I agree with you. It would be like the perfect daily driver. If you just had, especially like if you lived in LA or something,
Right.
and you you got to use the, whatever the HOV lane because it's an electric car.
Oh yeah.
And B, it's a perfect car to just drive
Yeah.
and not really think about what you're doing
Right.
and stuff like that. But to answer the question, would I rather have that than an M3? I probably would, just because I've never really been a BMW guy, but I would rather have like a GT350 R than that.
Yeah, I think the question is more, would you rather have the equivalent like high performance but daily usable gas powered car?
Yeah.
Not would you rather have like some badass sports car for
Right.
70 grand?
And I think we've also you've had it here for like a week now.
Yeah.
And we've also kind of seen like the drawbacks of having that as your only car.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of constantly eyeing the charge level. And like,
Yeah.
I need to go supercharge.
Well, to be
you
fair,
do.
that's my situation.
That's true.
That I am unable to charge that
That's
car
true.
Overnight.
due to some exterior circumstances.
His dad hates him.
Yeah. Starting every day with a full battery,
Yeah.
like
That's
that wouldn't
true.
even be a question.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
that's true.
300 miles of range. It's like that
Right.
part is.
Although, I mean, if you drive, we've been driving it a lot, and would you get a full battery overnight? Because it doesn't charge that fast.
If I owned that car, I would have an
Oh, yeah.
electrician install
Right, the 240.
240.
That's what I mean, yeah.
you just, most owners who are ready for that thing
Right.
start their morning with a full tank, and 300 miles is like more than you would.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I think that's actually a pro, is that I can't charge it at home and we've been able to still use it.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, it is a drawback. I mean, electric infrastructure is still not
Yeah.
100% there. One thing that is a drawback though is there's no key in that car. The key is your phone.
And it's
You
been a
use
little
the app.
wonky, yeah.
And it's not perfect. And it's like, it would be great if it was perfect, but it's not. It's like, you have to wake your phone up because Bluetooth has to be activated.
Right.
And even then it doesn't work every time. And it's like, oh man, I don't know
Like,
who needs to change, Apple or Tesla or whatever, but it's like, it's not perfect.
Or if it was just like a standard key fob, like just like
Yeah.
you just keep in your pocket, and like, just like the Jeep or the
Yeah.
Civic, you just walk up to it and touch the door handle and it unlocks.
I think almost every complaint I have about that car, like that, I believe that they did for cost reasons. It was just like, do we absolutely need this thing? And if the answer wasn't, yes, we absolutely need it, they left it off. Because I think Model S and an X, you get a fob.
Oh, really?
yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, that's the only car. The
Yeah,
3 is
cost
the
cutting.
one. Yeah, and so it's like there's so much. It's funny you say the interior is barren, because to me it's like the interior is so streamlined and cool. And John got it. He's like, this interior is so boring.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing in here. But yeah, they left off everything that they didn't need. The things that are in there, I think they tried really hard to make good.
Yeah.
But if it did make the cut, they left it off. And so it's missing a lot of things through and through. That car is just like devoid of anything that doesn't have to do with driving,
Yeah.
which is, I think is interesting from a design perspective, because they did a pretty good job with it. The only thing that it is missing that I think it should have is oh shit handles.
Yeah.
It does not have oh shit handles.
Well, it has retractable. I mean, I guess they're
It's got the
coat hangers. Yeah, the
Yeah.
retractable coat hanger.
But
things.
I mean, from just a handle,
Yeah.
like a few people who have gone into it have like kind of reached for where one would be.
Yeah,
and
'cause it's-
just like, I don't know, it's a comfortable.
Especially when you're doing the typical test drive. Like, let me show you how fast it is.
Well,
Yeah.
just in ingress, and I don't know. I think they should put that one in, but it's like that car is just it is clean because they didn't put anything extra in it. But I think what I am most impressed by is all of the press, all of the media and the reviews about that car, and really Tesla. First of all, you've kind of either made your mind up about that company one
Yeah.
way or the other, and you either love them or you hate them. But most of the reviews are like the big screen or the tech or autopilot or whatever. It's like the tech. It gets buried in like tech. It's an iPhone on wheels and stuff. And it's like, that's fine, because if you're coming to that car for the first time, that's the first thing you notice.
Yeah.
It is very techy. But like once you get used to it and you strip all of that away, you are left with a killer chassis and killer steering and brakes, and just like fundamentally that is an extremely good car to drive. And I think that is, I mean, would you guys agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. Well, we didn't like push it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about, but I've heard it is
right.
pretty
No,
good,
yeah,
even in a competition setting.
Right.
But just you can feel it in
it's definitely very capable.
street driving that it is
it's responsive.
It is a very pleasurable machine to drive. Like, it's kind of what the 3 Series should be trying to be. And I think that doesn't quite come across in any of the reviews or literature about it, because it's just like the tech and like there's no gauge cluster in front of you, and like all these other talking points that are the first thing you notice. But it's like, this is actually a very good driving machine.
I think the biggest thing I dislike or just am not that into is the way it feels like it's really good at being a vehicle, but it's just not something that like you don't think about once you're in it, you just drive it. But like you don't feel any, like, aside from like the Tesla owners being like annoyingly like, but like you don't, like if you see another one, you don't like, oh, like cool, there's another one. Like
there's no sense of pride.
Yeah, it's like such a, it's like, and that way, like it is like an iPhone. Like you don't, like if you see someone with a smartphone, like you don't care like what model. Yeah, like man, this guy's got like a cool like vintage whatever. Like
I think part of it is that car is so, they did such a good job at making it a like the ideal transportation box.
Right. Yeah, that's
you are trying to get to work. How do we make the experience from the moment you decide to use your car to drive to work
user-friendly?
User-friendly and seamless. Like you can tell they just like mapped the whole experience out down to like, you don't turn the car on. Putting your foot on the brake before you shift is turning the car on. The car wakes up by putting your foot. It's just like they mapped it all out. But by doing so, it's like it's almost like the thing that makes a car kind of have character and make you feel a little bit proud to own it is that it has faults.
Right.
Like you pass someone else in whatever, I don't know, Alfa Romeo. And it's like, yeah, me too. I am also willing to like hurt for this experience.
Yeah. Well, we kind of talked about like how, like you're never going to like pop the hood, like all the stuff that you like to do with the car.
Yeah.
Like if you show up somewhere, like, let me check out the motor, or let me, like, I can't wait.
Car meet.
Yeah. Like I can't wait to hear what this thing sounds like. Like that stuff just doesn't exist with a car like that.
I think it is unfair to call it like soulless.
No, not so. It doesn't have like a big part of what people like about cars.
Yeah. But with that said, it is just a really good car
transportation.
It's like, it's different. It is different. Yeah. We were laughing about how lame a Tesla car show would be.
Yeah.
Cause it's just like, you just don't care. It's just like,
well, like we, just a little bit ago, you stopped by the Supercharger and there's like 7 of them. Yeah. Like all pretty much identical. Like they have like 4 different colors. What's like, and that's like an iPhone. Did you get the space gray or did you get the
white,
whatever it is? Yeah, white. Did you get the?
If you have an iPhone, and you see someone else with an iPhone, you don't care about their iPhone,
right? Yeah, you're not. Like, you don't. Yeah, you don't. It doesn't even like. Well, though you also really like using.
You enjoy
your iPhone,
it. You enjoy that product,
right?
But yeah, they're not. They're just cranking the things out of a factory. I don't know. I don't know if that's a lack of options or what, or if it'll. I also think like, give that company 20 years, and maybe when there's 50 models out.
Yeah,
I don't know. It is quite different. Speaking of the Supercharger, Superchargers are located kind of off the highway, and they're Tesla charging stations that are designed to like get you back on the road as quickly as possible for long haul trips. And so they will charge the car at like a rate of, it's something like 480 volts and like 100 amps. It's like big power, and you get like a couple hundred miles in like, under an hour or something, an hour, whatever. It's as close to a gas station as currently exists for electric cars.
Right.
And so they try to strategically place these things. And I've never used one before because I had no reason to. And probably the funniest thing about Superchargers to me is that you have to back into it, the space to use it. And like,
It's not a real common move.
Yeah, it's not a real common move. Like, first of all, most people just suck at backing in, and you have to
Even
use this
with a
thing.
camera, yeah.
Yeah, it's like those things are pretty easy to back up, and it's like
People still suck.
people still suck at it. And so it's kind of the other part is it's like this is kind of a stereotype, but it's sort of true. As of right now, Teslas have a certain type of owner,
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be pretty affluent, but into tech.
Yeah.
It's like anyone who gets out of a Tesla, you're like, yeah, you know, you're not like, who's it going to be? It's just like, yeah, it's like kind of a nerdy looking dude in a puffy jacket.
Right, yeah.
Or, you know, it's just
Yeah,
like, yeah, he probably is like a software engineer or something. And so it's just like, I don't know why it's kind of funny to like watch the Supercharger thing with these like kind of like weak dudes trying to like back into spots. It's like, it's pretty funny. It was pretty funny looking. The other thing is I went to use one on Christmas Eve and a lot of people were traveling and there was a line.
Yeah.
And this is different from a line at the gas station because it takes like a half hour
Minimum,
to charge your car. It takes like an hour to fully charge it, if not a little more. And so it's not just like, oh, people are
A quick
Yeah.
stop, yeah.
coming in and out. So it backed up and that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But it's like there's 5 cars in line.
Yeah.
And people start kind of like getting out and talking to each other
Yeah.
and stuff. And I was just like, God, I have no interest in talking to anyone about this car. Like, I just have no interest.
What
at
color
all.
did you get?
Yeah, just like
Where are you headed?
yeah, just like people who like to talk about like gear.
Did you get the 128 gig or the 256?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
It's kind of like an Apple store.
Yeah.
it's a little bit like that. So, anyways, I was a fan and I remain a fan, and I think that company is still very early. It's early in their life, but I like what I see. I think they're headed in a very good direction. As long as they can make those things more consistently or whatever, quality
Yeah.
issues and production issues aside, it's like they've come up with a great product. So hats off to them. Good job. Okay, so we have some listener questions.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes,
From Patreon.
Which
Patrons.
you can be.
Yeah.
Get in on it.
By the way, if you're enjoying the Carbros podcast and our videos, consider signing up for our Patreon. You can find it. There's a link in the description below, or you can Google Carbros Patreon, which is usually how I find it. Quick shout out to our patrons.
Yes.
Yeah.
The wind
guys are-
beneath our wings.
Yeah, you guys are great. We love you all.
Yes.
So we open it up for questions to our patrons, and we have a few of them.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, why don't you read them off?
All right. So first up, got our boy Keith.
What's up, Keith?
And he said, I got pulled over a few weeks ago, so I was wondering, have you guys ever had any run-ins with law enforcement for car-related reasons? What car were you in and why?
It's a good one.
Yeah. You wanna start?
I'll start. I mean, in high school, we've probably mentioned this before, but like every Friday and Saturday night, we would cruise up and down a street in our town, and it got pretty popular.
That's right.
And
Cruise
you know,
night.
this was the age of Fast and Furious, so a lot of Hondas out there, and
We're still in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never
This
grew
is
out
the
of that.
advent of
Yeah.
that age.
Yes.
so I was pulled over once in my Honda Prelude in high school for that, and I think he pulled me over. The reason he pulled me over was no front license plate, and then of course he was like, pop the hood. And I was
dang.
like, I think I had a cold air intake at the time, but I did have a carb sticker on it. So
Reamed him.
yeah, it was just a fix it ticket for that. But I was profiled back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
being white.
Yeah.
That's rough.
The only other time, I think I was pretty soon after I got the STI, and I was living in LA, and I was just driving to work, and a cop pulled me over. And this guy was like a complete, the stereotypical LA asshole cop. Pulled me over for not using my turn signal to change lanes.
Ooh.
Made me pop the hood. The car was completely stock at the time. Yeah.
Jeez.
He also said my taillights were illegal because the 06, 07 STIs, they kind of have that Altezza clear lens on,
Right.
on
Like
the top thing. Yeah. And so he was like, you don't have a reflector for your something. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. These are like from the factory, blah, blah. And so, so I got a not changing lanes for not, using the turn signal. My license didn't have my correct address on it. It still had my Fresno address on it, and he got me for tinted windows.
Man,
Yeah,
Nice
what a
guy.
jerk.
Yeah.
My license hasn't been correct for like since
a
I've had
while.
it.
Yeah.
A decade.
But yeah, I haven't gotten well, actually, I got a speeding ticket a couple years ago. But that was it wasn't my dad's BMW.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's several, but most of them are pretty insignificant. But
Top one.
one that I remember, going back to the same Blackstone, which is the aforementioned street where we used to all go
Yeah.
pretty much every weekend, is Drive, which I don't know, we could probably dedicate a whole episode to like Blackstone stories.
Right.
Because, you just go up and down it, so you'd always make U-turns. And I was driving.
No cruising.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of like no cruising signs that nobody followed.
Right.
But I was driving my 90 Mustang GT.
Yeah.
Fox body. And I think there's like an Integra or Civic, which there was a lot of them at the time. And it would like chase them down and mess with them. I mean, not like actual like race, but just like screw around. And he was making a U-turn. And then I followed him. And I think I like got on a little bit. I got on a little bit too early and like half like fishtailed. Like I didn't like do a 180 or anything, just like a little tire chirp and like a bit of sideways. And there just happened to be like a cop like parked directly across. I didn't see.
Dang. Gotcha.
So it was a lady cop. Ooh. And she pulled me over, and she was actually like pretty cool considering the circumstances.
Right.
Like she probably could have technically gotten me for like reckless drive, like something big.
Sure.
But she ended up giving me a ticket for unsafe start.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't Peter get one of the, like his car got like impounded? Remember? Like,
Oh, yeah,
he
Peter.
like actually did race someone from a light, like up to like 40 or something like that.
Yeah, his car did get impounded.
I think he got
but-
impounded, for like unsafe start.
Also on.
on
I
Blackstone.
don't think you could have gotten pounded for unsafe start. It must have been something else.
But his car did get impounded.
It did,
though.
it
Yeah,
did,
his,
but-
his SHO. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on here, and
Those are the days.
he can recount that. But yeah, so which unsafe start? I actually looked it up a little bit ago, and it's just like essentially losing traction or like taking off too fast under like any. I think technically even like some dumb truck like peeling out in the rain.
Really? Yeah,
It's like
what
an
is
unsafe-
That's
yeah.
kinda silly.
It just means like going hard.
Getting the tail out.
So I think it was just like a $150 ticket or something. It wasn't that. It could have been a lot worse. She actually like cut me a break considering what I did.
God, side note, you can misbehave so like under the radar in the Tesla.
In the Tesla, yeah.
Yeah.
When your car makes no noise, people just don't notice.
Yeah.
You can just
You can punch it.
you just
and
leave.
do
Like,
it.
it's so, and people just don't see it coming.
Yeah.
And like they don't even know where you went. It's hilarious. And it feels funny. Like, it feels like childish.
Well, I remember we were filming like I was driving back to get another shot, and I like punched it a little bit,
Yeah.
and like I got back and I had this huge smile on my face. And
I
you
didn't even
looked-
notice.
Yeah, you were
I
just
didn't
like
even look
what?
up. I was
Yeah.
like messing with the camera. Yeah, it's so funny.
That's how you're able to race that other guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
without
right.
drawing.
Oh yeah, just a small tangent. We were driving back from getting food, I think,
Yeah.
and we're in the 3, and there was another 3
Well, Garrett,
next to us.
What did you say? Like literally seconds before that, you said like, "Oh,
Oh, I was just like asking, like, I wonder what kind of cars this thing can like walk away from.
Oh
from
yeah,
a
like
roll.
roll race. And so another 3 pulls up next to us, and it's kind of funny because like there is no car currently on the planet that takes less skill to drag race than an electric than a Tesla.
Right.
Basically, there's not even shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even launch.
You're not gonna
the
like
thing.
break traction.
There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. And so there was another 3 next to us with some like poverty wheels. And I was like, this thing's clearly not. It was like, there's no question. The car's faster.
Yeah.
There's no.
The weak ass
you pay-
guy only spent like 48 grand or something.
Our car is more expensive. Yeah. And so I was like, it's the funniest race I've ever been involved in. Because first of all, it's silent. Both cars are not making any noise. We were just like giggling, racing this guy the whole time. Walked him.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
pulled away,
Put some links on
Yeah,
it.
broke him off.
He did the classic, like when you let off, he kept in it for a couple more seconds
I
and
let off.
got a little distance ahead of us.
I let off at like 50.
What I like to do is
speed limit.
I just want to imagine that guy was like also riding someone like Tesla's so fast,
Yeah.
man. Like
You won't believe.
you won't believe how fast this go. Oh,
Whoops.
Tesla, man.
Yeah, see that one.
Also a Tesla.
That was pretty funny.
Better than mine.
Back to Keith's question. I don't know what it is about the M5, but I get pulled over a ton.
Really?
In that
Really?
car. Yeah. And like, I used to get pulled over. I've been pulled over twice in the Datsuns just because they're a
Right.
piece of shit.
Sure.
Right.
But I got a ticket literally an hour after I bought the M5 for speeding in a construction zone, which sucked. It was after hours. I
was going to say, was anyone even working? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was stupid. But still, it's just like I'm so unlucky in that car. And I took a picture and sent it to the guy I just bought it from. He was like, I'm so proud of you. That's pretty funny.
It doesn't help that it's bright red, probably.
I don't know if it's because it's a red car or because I just drive worse when I'm in it. So my story, and this is because I'm just driving like a dick, but I don't drive that car a ton. So when I do, it's like to go out and like screw around.
Right.
And I was the speed limit on this road I was on. It's like a 4-lane road with a median, but the speed limit's like 35 in some parts.
Yeah.
It's super weak speed limit. But it was like 9:30 or 10. No one on the road. No one else on the road. It was like a Monday night or something in a quiet part of town. And I don't know how fast I was going, but I kind of like half-assed wound out third.
Yeah.
So probably about 70,
Yeah.
Right.
honestly, 75 in a 35.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really look up the law, but I think when you double the speed limit,
Yeah.
that's probably not good.
It's like almost like manslaughter or something. It's like so stupid. Yeah. It could be a felony.
You technically killed someone.
Or maybe attempted manslaughter. I don't know. I think it is. We'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Any lawyers out there?
The jury's out. Anyways, as soon I saw a car parked like on a frontage road facing traffic, and as soon as I saw the car, I was like, "That's a cop."
Yeah.
Like I didn't even. I started to pull over before he turned his headlights on. I was just like, "There's no way." And so like I immediately start pulling over, and he eventually starts his car and like comes. And so I was like, fuck, dude, because I was just out screwing around.
Right.
And I was just about to go home.
Yeah.
And I did that thing where I was like, one more lap.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a good time. I'm going to go one more lap. And I remember thinking, like, that's it. This didn't need to happen. And now I'm going to have to pay like $1,000. Like this night just got wrecked because I didn't just go home. And so I'm just like sitting there, and he walks up, and the first thing he said was like, "Oh, yeah, screwed around in the M5 or something." He kind of gave me some line like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait. I was like, there's a chance I'm walking away from this. And so he was, I forget what he said, but I started in with like, "Oh yeah." Like I started trying to make up an excuse. I was like, I don't have an excuse. You know? Like there's no reason. It was just like, yeah, I'm just like out screwing around. And I don't really drive this car a ton, so I just kind of gave it to him honest. And he was like, "Well, let me go back to my car." I think he was saying, I think we started talking about cars, honestly. And I remember in the back of my mind thinking, like, am I really going to walk away from them? Am I going to sweet talk my way out? He's like, "Oh, I've been looking at these. Like, I might get a 330 CI instead." I was like, "Well, if you ever want to buy this,"
And you're like, "That's a great choice. That's a really good car.
Yeah, you're like,
it's way better than the M5."
Yeah. And so he went back and like whatever,
Ran
my
your
license or whatever.
yeah.
And my insurance was out of date because I just hadn't put the slip
The
in
new
it.
slip in, yeah.
Yeah.
And he ended up giving me a ticket for out of date insurance,
That's it.
which if you fix it is $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just like the coolest move. I mean, I totally deserved the ticket.
Right.
100% I deserved it. I was just not doing fucking around. But it's like, I guess because no one was on the road. I don't know. He totally hooked it up on that one. That was probably the most recent. But yeah, I think I've been pulled over 5 times in that car.
God damn.
Jeez.
I haven't been
Yeah.
pulled over, knock on wood, for like a long, like 6 or 7
I have
years.
never been pulled over in my old Civic
Normal car.
or the 4Runner because I usually drive really
Right.
slow. And I
Yeah.
think it's just the M5. It's like every time I drive that car, it's like other people are in the car, I'm like showing off. Or
Yeah.
I'm, like,
I got pulled over in a Dodge Caravan on the way to the SEMA show like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
For like, and I actually got a ticket. I mean, like for going, I think I got it. I think I was
driving a Caravan.
I think I was going like 85 and a 65.
Yeah.
Like right when you get into Vegas.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to get there like by the time the show. I like drove from LA,
Got it.
and the cop was just like driving in the right lane, but he was like it was like a Nevada whatever state trooper.
Yeah.
And he was just in like a Chevy truck.
Huh.
Like a, they don't look like CHP cars
Right.
over there. It was just like a dark blue, whatever.
Right.
And the guy's like, how come you're passing a marked patrol car? And I was like, well, it doesn't really like stand out to me as a,
Yeah.
it's like back then it was like still like Crown Vics and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
So that was like the last ticket I got.
yeah. Well, cool. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Good question.
Hopefully he got out of his ticket
Yeah.
Yeah.
or whatever, whatever he was pulled over for.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, Francisco, he says, you have to drive off a cliff and survive. Which car are you choosing?
Model 3.
Are you?
Yeah, safest car ever made, isn't it?
I don't
it?
know.
I'm pretty sure it's the safest car that highway safety has ever tested.
Oh. There you go.
Although I think to be fair, like once you're going off the cliff, I think that's more like
Yeah.
structural stuff and not like collision avoidance
front impact or
features.
I'm gonna
something.
die. I want it to be a Model 3 just for the new. If you want to make the news,
Yeah, if you want to be front page of Jalopnik.
yeah, it's got to be in a Tesla. That's my choice.
I don't even know. Like any production car, it can't be like a fully caged NASCAR.
yeah, with Hans device.
I don't know. Fuck.
I would probably just say like whatever, like the biggest like SUV with like the most
Right.
like tall roof and
yeah, I don't even know.
like where you're farthest away from like any.
Excursion.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like if I drive off a cliff and I die, then whatever.
Yeah, it's just meant to be.
Yeah, I think it's just more up.
Yeah.
It's up in the air than what car.
Although going off a cliff in a
I
smart
mean, I guess
car would be pretty
the
fun.
question is, what car would you want to die in?
Oh, is that what he said? Do you think that's
you're
what
No,
he
I
said?
don't know.
Oh no, and
I mean,
survive.
that's what
yeah.
I would. Maybe like a Porsche, a Carrera 2000,
Fieri,
Carrera GT.
the Fieri going off a cliff would be something else.
Don't tempt me. All right.
Next up, Ole says, "Hi guys, as a car guy myself, I've often been asked for advice from non-car guys regarding what car to buy. After careful consideration, I end up suggesting one or two different options based on their needs, budget, and so on. But they always end up buying something else. Has anyone turning to you guys for a
Actually bought the
recommendation
car.
actually bought the car that you recommended?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And how did it turn out?
And I feel for you because I've done that too. People are like, we're looking for an SUV. Or like,
Right.
check out the
Whatever.
Mazda
Yeah.
like CX-5. You know, and they're like, oh, okay.
Bought a Honda. Bought a Honda.
It's like, well, don't ask me then.
Yeah.
Like, you may not know. I'm thinking about a CRV. What do you think? It's like, do you want my opinion or do you want me to just say good? That's a good car.
Yeah. Yes, that is a car.
Yeah. But speaking of that question, I don't think I've ever been asked other than like a couple times about SUVs.
Yeah, I don't get it a whole lot because I think most of my friends are into
Yeah.
cars, so they're
Yeah.
not like, "Hey, car guy."
Yeah, that's true. Pretty much all my friends, at least.
It's like they know enough to at least.
Yeah. Or
They might like ask for like thoughts on, or like
Yeah.
they'll like keep you posted on like what they're
yeah.
looking at. But yeah, I don't really have. I'm trying to.
Nothing stands out in my mind where I'm like, yeah.
That's
I wouldn't
the
want
one.
that. I don't know if I would want to be responsible for I'm like, oh no, what if they don't like it?
Yeah.
I recommend Alfa Romeo
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, my girlfriend did buy the Civic. You found the Civic that she bought, remember?
That's true.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, we're looking at cars or something.
There
blah,
you
blah.
go.
And you were like, just
Yeah.
get a Civic EXT. And I was like, oh yeah, like I had forgotten about it
Oh,
because
yeah,
you had
that's-
one
well-
and you just Googled it in like 2 seconds. You're all, here's one. I was like, okay, we'll go buy that.
I think
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think the thing he is running into is that we think about cars differently than other people do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there is like an ideal choice
Right.
based on XYZ logic. And other people are just like, yeah, but like the RAV4 looks way better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay. And they'll go for that. So feel for you.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
But
Yeah.
I don't think it's happened to me. I can imagine it happening.
Yeah,
to me,
I can see it.
But I don't know that it actually has.
It will at some point.
I'll let you know when it does.
So that's a good question, this next one.
Okay, Edward.
Yeah,
Boy,
Edward.
Edward. When is a supercharger more appropriate than turbos? What's your favorite Top Gear episode? And when will Carl B be a guest on the podcast?
Well, that's up to Carl.
Yeah, Carl. The offer's on the table.
Yeah, we've already thrown that out there.
There's a guest room waiting for you.
Yeah. When is supercharger more appropriate than turbo? I don't know.
I was just thinking of wasn't it on the fake fake live show we had where like someone wrote in when they like supercharged their Camaro and we're like, bro, you need a turbo. That's a bad choice.
Is there anything that's still supercharged?
Well, help me.
I mean, like outside of, I guess.
Hellcats.
Yeah.
It's only hobbyist stuff, I think. Supercharged
everything that was supercharged is pretty much turbo now.
Yeah.
Yeah, turbo today doesn't really mean what it used to.
Yeah, because
it used to be like, this whole second.
Yeah.
Like a turbo used to be this whole second power band.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've got kind of like
supercharger used to be like what a turbo is now.
Right.
Yeah, basically. It's like a turbo used to be like if you dip into it, there's this whole other
you gotta wait for it, but then it comes
to the engine that you can kind of play with, like however much you want to spool the turbo. And now it's just like it's invisible, essentially, because it's just sized identically to like the lower revs of the motor.
Right.
But I like driving supercharged stuff, the enthusiast stuff, just blown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just like a Roots supercharger just makes the engine feel like a 12-liter V8.
Although I will say that I'm not a big fan of the supercharger sound.
Really? You don't like that?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you haven't liked that since like 03 Cobra.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just weird, like, check it out, Kumako, yeah. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't. It sounds fine.
I definitely do like
a
turbo spool more than a supercharger wind.
Yeah.
Just like kind of side note, if you've never looked at a dyno of a Hellcat, you should check that out.
Bad boy.
Or maybe we'll put one here. Sorry, John.
Yeah.
But it is just like horizontal line for torque and a 45-degree angle for power right up to red line.
Yeah.
It was just like that motor is just nuts. And I was like, and it drives that way. It's fun to drive. And so it's like the new I'm impressed both with what they've done with current turbo stuff, but I think I'm more impressed with what they've done with current supercharged stuff because it is just like power everywhere and right up to the fucking fuel cut on some of those cars. Like it just drives amazingly.
It's just like adding another motor.
Doubles the size of the motor, and especially if they can take care of the heat, which they mostly seem to have been able to do. Like it is, gas engines are certainly pretty awesome on their way out.
Last stand.
Finally got them dialed in.
And then, what's your favorite Top Gear episode?
I don't know. That one's tough. I have seen every Top Gear episode and every Grand Tour episode.
I haven't seen the latest Grand Tours, but I think Top Gear season 10 is like, I think, the best season. I think that's when they peaked, but
I don't even know what that is.
I don't remember. I just remember it was. I think there's like 10 or 12 episodes. It was back when like they would do a full season. Like now, like then the.
Well, I mean, what episodes?
It was like a lot of just like, I mean, it was just the same shit they always did. I just remember season 10 was always the best, but it was just like they took 3 supercars to like some road in Europe or whatever. But
isn't that every episode of every?
That's true. Yeah,
I think my favorite one was the Africa special where they look for the what was it, like the source of the Nile or something? And Richard's in like a WRX wagon.
That's right.
Oh wait,
and Jeremy's in like a 5 Series wagon.
Yeah, I think I remember that. That one's fairly recent.
It was right at the end of Top Gear. I thought that one was pretty good. And it was funny. I remember Richard saying, like, you're not going to remember any of these cars other than the WRX. Like, he was kind of arguing for, like, why his car was the best because it had a ton of character. And it's like, it's true. I remember the shit out of that WRX wagon. I don't remember what James had. Probably like a Volvo or something stupid.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I would say, I think it's the Hilux. I think that
the Polar Special.
No, the one where they like tried to kill.
Oh, they tried to kill that one.
That's pretty classic.
I remember that being like the thing. I was like, dude, you got to see this. Like,
that was like.
I remember that
kind of put Top Gear on the map.
I remember that being like passed around like in the pre-YouTube days.
And it was good.
Yeah,
and it is still.
So, so I looked. So season 10 is the first one's the road trip to find the greatest driving road in the world. He took a Lamborghini, Superleggera, Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and the Aston Martin V8 Vantage through Europe. Blah blah. Amphibious Cars, season 2 or the second one of that. The first Africa challenge with the Lancia. I think Richard's in a Lancia. Oh no, Jeremy's in a Lancia.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember any of that show. I know I've seen them, but
Yeah.
like I don't remember.
Well,
My favorite is like the Polar Special, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the one where they get drunk, right?
Yeah, they
Don't they?
drink. They drink on like they take the Toyota
Yeah.
Hilux or whatever and drive to the North Pole.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I do
Yeah.
remember that. I just like it when they go, "What?
Yeah,
You what?"
With that said, like a couple weeks or a month or two ago, I watched like most of the most recent Grand Tour.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get in. Like,
No.
none of it felt.
Yeah.
real. That's why
It's like it's so.
Scripted.
It feels like a. Yeah, it's
Sitcom.
I think it's this show's always been scripted to a degree.
It is basically like someone said, just do whatever you've been doing and keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing I like, the way I look at it, I agree with you, and I like know where you're going, and I think everyone does. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's scripted. But I'd rather they kept doing it than stop.
Yeah.
It's like
True.
I like that they're still doing
that it still exists.
I'd rather it was that, because the alternative is they don't
Right.
do it anymore, and I like that they're still doing it.
That's why I like the Polar Special, because like you can't script that. Like,
Right.
They like literally are
Yeah.
legitimately getting stuck and like they're fucking frustrated as
Yeah.
hell and they're trying to get out and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I watched the one, whatever the most recent one, like where they race on a plane. Like, what's his name? Jeremy's in the Ford GT, and they're like racing from New York City to like Niagara Falls.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, and you know, like the James and Richard are flying,
Right.
and they like do a thing where they like call the airline. It's like, oh, like we're not going to serve them alcohol and the
Yeah.
thing.
It's like, no.
And
it's not.
it shows like the you know, stewardess, and she's like, "Oh, you guys can't have alcohol." And it's like so like they like the producers told her they're gonna ask for a drink, and then you're gonna say it's like, all right, we get it.
I still think it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, but I don't know. I think it's like when you do that so much.
Yeah, it's not what it was.
Yeah.
What it once was.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lastly,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
personal request from Carl
Oh, right, right.
Bernstein. Five Guys versus In-N-Out.
yeah. This is non-correlated.
I personally think the Five Guys versus In-N-Out thing was started by Five Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one in their right mind would compare the two.
Yeah.
Like Five Guys is just another burger place. Like In-N-Out is in a level of its own, in my opinion. It's just like
I feel like Five Guys is kind of like built on their like toppings or whatever.
Yeah.
they're fine.
And like, which is fine, but like, I feel like that takes away from, like In-N-Out just makes a good burger that's like
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
You either like it or you don't, but I feel like, what's on yours?
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Five Guys is fine.
Yeah.
In-N-Out's probably the only fast food I eat, and I probably eat it once a month.
yeah.
I like In-N-Out, as does everyone who lives in
California.
California or West Coast.
There's one in
or-
Texas, I think, now. Too.
Oh yeah, there's
Western
yeah,
US.
but
Yeah, in my opinion, not even a comparison.
Yeah.
In-N-Out does.
I can't believe they compared.
Has the best fast food burger.
Yeah.
I hate their fries.
I think a lot of
In-N-Out's
people
fries.
don't care for their fries. They're fine. I could eat them, but I'm not a huge fan.
One thing I miss is Fat Burger. Like there's not a Fat Burger around here anymore.
Okay, Vince.
Yeah. No, In-N-Out. What do you get at In-N-Out?
Double. No.
Lately,
it's-
I've been just getting 2 burgers because I'm not a huge fan of the fries.
Yeah, I just get the double by itself. No,
Really? You don't special menu it?
I don't do the. I can't. I can't eat the animal sauce anymore.
Missing out, bro.
I know.
I go double animal style, light grilled onions, no spread, extra toast.
Damn,
well done
that's
on
like a
the
freaking
patty.
Starbucks
Damn,
order.
wow.
Right there.
So good. If anyone out there wants to
Yeah.
have their mind blown.
I bet you if you ever have like a personal assistant and they're gonna have to take that order, they're gonna fucking hate you.
I long for that fantasy to become a reality. When I have a personal assistant.
Hey, burger boss.
I will let you know.
Whenever Carbros has some interns, and
Yeah, I'll let you know when I get my first personal assistant. Which brings me to, since we're on the topic of fast food, not that we manufactured this in any way. Sorry to divergent,
Heavy.
but what the fuck is up with people in line at places at like Chipotle who order for 5 other people who aren't fucking there?
when they're
Yeah.
when you're saying the personal assistant goes and takes the lunch order,
Nothing drives me crazier than
Yeah.
someone like,
you think like, oh, this is gonna be a quick trip. There's only like one person in front of me, 2
Yeah.
people.
this
in front
did
of me.
not happen before cell phones, I don't think. Because it's
No.
always someone staring at their phones like, oh, okay. this burrito's like
Yeah.
no beans on this one.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. Call ahead.
Yeah, online
They have
ordering.
a fucking phone. Like, call. They have a separate.
They have a thing called
place.
online
They have
ordering.
the whole app now. Whenever I go to Chipotle
They
for
have
lunch,
a whole
I just do the app.
separate counter where they make
Yeah.
call in
Yeah.
mobile order. It's like, fuck, man, nothing gets me going. Panda
Russell's or
Express,
Jimmy's.
fucking Panda Express. Okay, I'm gonna get like 6 plates.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, there should be a rule against that. If you don't have your shit together,
Yeah.
if you don't have those people there, can I try the orange chicken? God, come on, people.
Folks.
Okay,
podcast.
well, all right,
Solid.
rest. Anyways, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thanks for being here on our
It's a
big
good,
2-1.
good way to go out.
Welcome
Good way to
back.
open 2019 with
Yeah.
a bang.
As you can see, we've really changed the format.
Yeah.
Really stepped our game up for 2019. Thank you all for listening. I hope you had a good holiday, and thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yes.
See you
We'll be back
next
soon.
time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.